Cardano holding its own as market continues to consolidate after a pretty big dip. Cody, January 2022. What does it all mean? What is up, everyone? Welcome to Crypto Capital Venture. Thank you for coming by. If you're not a subscriber, please hit that subscribe button, hit that like button. It means a lot to me as we grow this channel. Let's jump into it. Here's Cardano on the USD charts. We get it. It's been months of downtrend. We get it. There's a lot of people that are just saying Cardano is done. Dude, Dan, why do you keep covering Cardano? It's done. I couldn't disagree more, but I get it. It's what's on the charts in the short term. If you're a short-term thinker, you're going to see only downtrend. But if you're a long-term thinker, you're only going to see uptrend. You're only going to see opportunity, especially if you start kind of sprinkling in the milestones that Cardano has just been achieving, that we've been talking about, that we've been tracking in this growth of Cardano. We talk about it all the time with all the hard forks, and now going into 2022, we have scalability. We have governance coming into play. We have major optimization of just the network as a whole, the protocol as a whole. And I think 2022, Cardano gearing up to outperform as many of us have gotten used to in 2021, 2020 into 2021. And I think that's getting ready to happen again. But again, here's weekly on the USD pair. It's down. But if you want those gains, if you want a world where you're going to see a $500 billion market cap at $15 or a $1 trillion market cap all the way up here at $31, if you are trying to envision that world, you have to not only envision but live through these big dips, these big consolidations. It's pretty generally the only way you're going to get there. Same for any other crypto. So I don't want to spend too much time on USD pair today. It has been kind of holding strong at a pretty really important support level, the lower trend line that we've been talking about, that $1.20 area right now at $1.27. But I want to talk about ADA ETH and ADA BTC. I want to talk about those pairs. You can see I was messing around with this chart already. And let me get rid of this briefly. But what I was talking about on this chart is on a macro level, Cardano extending back from this low back here, and this was around a year ago, Cardano potentially putting in a higher low. This might be better illustrated, nicer to look at least on a weekly, but we're going to use the daily mainly because we're getting this green line, the 20-day moving average, beginning to cross above the 50-day moving average, the blue line on this chart. The reason that's important is just because it has been months of downtrend, and Cardano has underperformed against ETH and against BTC. And you can just see the visualization of that, even the resistance at the 20-day moving average. Well, finally, Cardano made its move above the 20-day moving average, the green line, and tested the 50-day moving average, and right now is above the 50-day moving average, and we're having this 20-day moving average getting ready to cross the 50-day moving average on this ADA ETH chart, on the Binance chart. We want to see continuation of this. We want to see separation from these moving averages. And separation, what it means for Cardano is just that it has room to consolidate back down to start seeing support at these areas, these moving averages, right? And this could be the sign and signal of a reversal. That's what we're looking for. That's what we want to see. This is commonplace in crypto across the board. We see it all the time. We just saw it last year. I can get my bars pattern, and we can take what this looked like last year. And I want to take it from this first 20-day moving average cross above that 50-day, because guess what? That wasn't the initial confirmation for bullishness. It wasn't. You can see it actually crossed once, twice, and then the third time was that third time that led to the bullish gains. But I want to take this from this 20-day moving average crossing above the 50-day, and we can take it and kind of extend it to the swing high, and we can just move it over here, and we can start anticipating and start visualizing. Wow, it's a nice move that we're getting here. We want to see just a nice, strong explosion, right, for Cardano. But if it doesn't happen, maybe we can anticipate something similar to a year ago, where there's even slighter, more downside and just a little bit more of a roller coaster ride. We're going to have to be a little bit more patient with Cardano going into spring, right? Maybe that happens. That's what this scenario is for. This is why we chart this from a historical data perspective. Now, again, I digress from that, and I say it would be nice to see Cardano make an explosive move to the upside, get separation from the moving averages. And really, if we look at ADA BTC, the same is really true on that. You can see ADA BTC on the Binance chart actually getting that 20-day moving average cross pretty much like right now. You can see it. We want to see, again, explosive move of separation away from those areas. At the very least, we want to see if Cardano is going to make a move back down, just support at these areas. And I was just tweeting about this a little bit ago. We want to see support so that there can be this story of uptrend now, as opposed to waiting months, as opposed to waiting into April. But you can see longer term, Cardano's just in this growth phase against other cryptos, against USD in its own little ecosystem. It's in its growth phase. And I think we just have to be patient with it. That's my opinion. This is not financial advice, everybody. This is just data that I'm sharing with you, and data that I'm seeing. And we've been doing this for years on this YouTube channel. So I think Cardano has some of the most upside potential for this year with everything going on in its ecosystem. One of those things, I should say, is a nice segue to COTI. COTI on the weekly. First off, COTI on the weekly is like, what a nice looking chart. It's like so simple and nice. It's so not stressful. Higher highs, higher lows on the weekly. And now we're in an interesting area. You can see there is room to the downside. This lower trend line, I think it's like 30 to 40% potential move. Let me get that out of the way. It's possible. Crypto continues this dip that it's in. Crypto enters a longer term consolidation phase. COTI to these areas, the lower 20-cent area, 100% possible. Please just be prepared for it. Be prepared for every scenario. Don't go out there trying to find YouTubers predicting stuff. We can give you targets. We can give you realistic scenarios to be prepared for. But at the end of the day, we can only all base our decisions based on all of those scenarios. Where are we comfortable with our portfolios in all of these different scenarios? So in terms of COTI, yes, there's downside. But check this out. I have this chart as like 900% gains to like right around $3.70. It's a 10x. It's a 10x for COTI. The reason I start there, and I want to talk about January of 2022, but the reason I start there is just a real quick, brief illustration. Cardano, or I'm sorry, COTI, let me go to CoinGecko. I have it open. Rank 233, $321 million market cap. If it hits that $3 billion market cap range, that's a 10x for COTI. That's a COTI at $3.70, right around there. And with what COTI is doing, I really think it's achievable for COTI to be a $3 billion market cap cryptocurrency. In order for that to take place, you can just see here, it would be a top 50 coin. Here's number 48, IOTA, at 3.2 billion. I think it's achievable for COTI and what it is building, what it is doing. Currency of the internet. Here is a nice article. It's capital.com. I'll put a link in the description. But part of the article just talks about some of the things that developers were outlining for a growth plan. And check this out. It includes a decentralized COTI treasury to collect fees and reward users. A stablecoin factory offering clients around the world the ability to issue their own stablecoin on top of the COTI trust chain. Enterprise and merchant services under the COTI Pay business brand, offering fully integrated backend systems. Treasury services, including borrowing, lending, COTI, and Vault services, ecosystem and partnerships such as A2Pay. Here's an interview I did with Shahaf Bar Geffen. This was November 17th. This was just not even 2 months ago. I want to just play a quick clip.
And they said,
you can't drop a date right now.
they said, I'll regret it. So
okay,
let's just say I
next
said
year.
End of January, and then yeah, let's just say I've said end of January, and then we'll see.
I don't think that was a tough question. I think I took Shahaf off guard a little bit, asking about when COTI treasury, and we didn't get an exact date, but he mentioned end of January, and he went on to talk about the importance of the treasury. So let's give them some time to do it correctly. Maybe it is this month, literally this month. My buddy Ed, he was just texting me, talking to me about this, and he was the one that really reminded me, hey, like it's January. Hey, you interviewed Shahaf, who said end of January, and I was kind of like, it is January 6th, 2022. Like COTI treasury. All right, let's talk about this. And there's so much to be said about the treasury, and we talked about a lot of it in this interview. Everything from stablecoin factory, merchant services, treasury services, ecosystem partnerships, Djed, all of these things tying into the treasury for COTI. It's a very, very big deal. It's the hub of so much that happens in the COTI ecosystem, and it's going to drive so much that happens in the COTI ecosystem. Speaking of Djed, the algorithmic stablecoin, the decentralized algorithmic stablecoin, that's really going to change the DeFi game. And it's going to give us predictable transaction fees in the DeFi game. Charles Hoskinson tweeting this the other day, well, December 24th. Glad to see COTI making great progress with Djed. And then I came across this Reddit post. I thought it was just, it's a good post for a couple of reasons, simple reasons. They said, what does it mean for COTI to issue Djed? The person said it means they collect some of the fees. Once, and this is COTI collects some of the fees. COTI treasury. Once Djed scales out, you will start to see its impact on COTI. The ultimate play for COTI is in January, February when they release a treasury, as that will drive utility directly to COTI as they expand in different directions across their ecosystem. Buying COTI now is similar to buying Terra Luna in January 2021. What's funny about that is my buddy's always, he's just been telling me for so long, dude, it's like buying Terra Luna back in the day. And so big things happening for COTI as we kick off 2022, a lot of upside potential. So we started on this weekly chart and you can see the upside potential. It's there. And I'm not saying like tomorrow, I'm not saying like next month, but I'm just saying, especially if markets get a bounce, if markets continue to the upside, and maybe they don't, but if they do, COTI has a lot of upside potential for 2022, and it really could outperform many cryptos. And we see the technical fundamental reasons that could drive that growth for COTI. Going to the daily chart, here's where we kind of are in terms of the chart. We just looked at some pairs on ADA, the ADA BTC, ADA ETH, and we're getting kind of a similar move on the USD for COTI. This 20-day moving average crossing above the 50-day moving average. We have to give it time because COTI is right there, right now, testing that support area. Will it hold? That's kind of what we want to watch in the short term. Please note, everybody, this could very easily be a fake out, right? And COTI could fail at those moving averages, and this could come back down very quickly. And there is a lot of room to the downside. So just please take that into perspective. Take that into account as we're looking at these charts. But what I do know is COTI this year, next year, in the long term, we go back to this weekly chart, just huge upside potential in terms of what they're doing. And users are going to be able to receive COTI treasury tokens based on, setting their own risk appetite in the treasury. So I think it's going to be really cool to see this ecosystem grow for COTI. And again, on the charts, there's a lot of upside as well. So those are my thoughts on COTI. Those are my thoughts on ADA and what's going on in the markets right now. Let's see. Let's see what happens. Let's see if Cardano can continue to hold its own here on these charts. Really at a really pivotal area at this lower trend line that it's been just testing for months and months and months. So it's going to be very interesting to see how it plays out. I appreciate all of you coming by. I'll see you in the next video. God bless.